except the officials. So we got to find a way to remedy it. I mean,
everyone's getting better, except the officials. That single sentence from a post-game press conference lit a fire across the WNBA world. But it wasn't just a soundbite. It was a truth that fans, players, and coaches could no longer ignore. And on that night, the chaos unfolding on the court wasn't just a fluke. It was a full-blown crisis. Was Caitlin Clark targeted on purpose? Because what happened to her wasn't just aggressive basketball. It felt personal. And when you see the footage, you'll understand why people were so furious. Before we get into the moments that shocked the league, hit that like button if you've ever been frustrated watching a game spiral out of control because of bad calls. And drop a comment below. Should the WNBA step in, or are we watching the beginning of something even bigger? Now, let's rewind to where it all started.
Foul, and if they had taken care of the business earlier, we wouldn't be in this situation right now.
It was supposed to be a normal game, but within seconds, everything unraveled. Caitlin Clark, the rookie phenom everyone was watching, took a swipe to the face, and not just a graze. J.C. Sheldon went in and clawed right across Clark's eye. You could see the pain, the hesitation, the confusion. Clark didn't even have time to react before Marina Mabrey came charging in and shoved her to the ground. The arena gasped. The audience couldn't believe it. Caitlin was left holding her eye, stunned on the floor. But here's where things get truly insane. Instead of punishing the aggressors, the refs gave Clark a technical foul. That's right. The player who got poked, shoved, and body bumped was the one who got penalized. What was she supposed to do? Just lay there? Walk away blindfolded? The madness didn't stop there. Everyone expected the refs to at least call something on Mabrey. But no, Mabrey stayed in the game like nothing happened. Meanwhile, another player, Sophie Cunningham, got ejected later for a shove that seemed like a clear retaliation, and arguably less aggressive than what Mabrey did. That contrast? It wasn't just a mistake. It felt like a message. Some players get protected, and others don't. The inconsistencies were so blatant that fans started comparing it to NBA standards. Imagine if someone came up behind LeBron James, scratched his eye, and shoved him into the floor. Would the NBA respond with just a technical on LeBron? Not a chance. So why did it happen here? By the time the buzzer sounded, the chaos on the court had spilled over into something much bigger. The players were angry. The fans were livid. And the post-game interviews? That's when things went nuclear. Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White didn't hold back. Before reporters could even turn to Clark, White jumped in. "I'll take the questions on the officiating," she said. It was a powerful moment, not just protecting her player, but calling out the entire WNBA. She was furious, not just about the game, but about what she called a season-long trend of terrible officiating. White said what everyone else was afraid to admit out loud. This isn't just a bad night. This is a league-wide issue. You could feel the tension in her voice. This wasn't about a single tech or a missed call. This was about the integrity of the game, about player safety, respect, and accountability. According to White, the referees didn't control the game, they lost it. And when you let emotions boil without boundaries, players will take matters into their own hands. Every time. Want to hear what she said next, and why it put the entire league on blast? Stick around for part 2. But first, if you're watching this and shaking your head like we are, make sure to subscribe for more raw, real coverage the media won't give you. This story, it's far from over. Stephanie White didn't sugarcoat a single word. In that post-game press conference, she laid out what everyone had been feeling. "There wasn't even an explanation for the tech Caitlin got," she said, shaking her head. None. And you could tell, this wasn't frustration from just one game. This was built up from months of watching her players, and others across the league, get tossed around while the officials swallowed their whistles. She said it clearly. This has been happening all season long. She wasn't defending one player. She was defending the game. White had tried talking to the refs as early as the first quarter. She saw where it was headed. The body language, the refusal to call clear fouls. She said, "We knew this was going to happen." You could feel it coming. And she was right. What made the whole situation worse was how selectively the rules seemed to be enforced. Marina Mabrey, who shoved Caitlin Clark with 2 hands, got to stay in the game. But later, Sophie Cunningham retaliated with a hard foul on J.C. Sheldon. And boom, she was ejected immediately. Let's be real, both fouls were aggressive. Both were emotional reactions in a physical game. But why did one lead to ejection and the other didn't even draw a warning? It wasn't about fairness anymore. It was about confusion, inconsistency. And fans noticed. Analysts broke it down frame by frame. Replay after replay showed what felt like selective punishment, not equal enforcement. And the players? They saw it too. Clark wasn't just being defended. She was being targeted. And yet, in the middle of all this, she barely said a word. She just wanted to play. She didn't argue. She didn't explode. She tried to walk away, even while holding her face after being clawed and shoved. But the refs still gave her the technical. And that's when people started asking, if this is how a player like Caitlin Clark is treated, what hope is there for everyone else? This wasn't just about stars or rookies. It was about the credibility of the league, the idea that rules mean something. In another moment that went viral, a reporter asked White what it meant to get control of the game. Her answer? Call the fouls that are actually happening, consistently. Not hard, not complicated, just the basics of officiating. And yet, that night, it seemed impossible. Christy Sides, another coach, chimed in too. She said, "The issue isn't just the physical play. It's what happens when refs don't set clear boundaries. Players will protect each other. That's what competitors do. And when refs won't do their jobs, the players will take over. And that's when things get dangerous." Reporters pressed White further. Is this just an Indiana fever issue? Her answer was immediate. No, this is league-wide. She's seen it in game after game. Bad officiating is bad officiating, she said. And when every team is feeling it, that's not a coincidence. That's a broken system. And she wasn't alone. All over social media, fans began clipping plays from other games that showed the same problems. Missed calls, strange ejections, tensions boiling because the refs were too afraid or too slow to step in when it mattered most. Then came the moment that showed just how deep this problem runs. Reporters asked about the Sophie Cunningham foul. Was she defending Caitlin Clark? Was it retaliation? Stephanie White's response was calm, but direct. It was a flagrant foul. No excuses, no spinning, just facts. And that honesty hit hard. It wasn't about favoritism. It was about setting a standard. If the WNBA wants to grow, to be respected the same way the NBA is, then the rules have to matter. The refs can't pick and choose, and the league can't turn a blind eye when a situation spirals out of control. Stephanie White ended that press conference with a quiet challenge. She said, "Every year we have meetings. We talk about these things. We submit clips. We ask for consistency. And nothing changes." This time, though, she wasn't just making a request. She was demanding action. And you know what? She's not wrong. Because what happened to Caitlin Clark that night, the eye poke, the shove, the technical, wasn't just a bad sequence. It was a warning sign. And if the league doesn't listen now, it's only going to get worse. Stick around for part 3, where we'll break down the refs' official statement, the contradictions in their own rulebook, and why their explanations made everything worse. Trust me, you don't want to miss how badly they fumbled the aftermath. When the league finally responded, everyone expected clarity. What we got instead? Confusion. The referee's official statement, meant to explain the chaos, ended up doing the exact opposite. And honestly, it only made things worse. Let's break it down. The ref said that J.C. Sheldon's foul on Caitlin Clark was upgraded to a flagrant one. Why? Because of unnecessary contact to the face with a wind-up and impact. But wait, according to the WNBA's own rulebook, that exact combination, wind-up, impact, contact to the face, is the textbook definition of a flagrant 2. That's the kind of foul that leads to ejection. So how did Sheldon only get a flagrant one? No one could explain it, not even the refs. Next came the moment everyone was waiting for, the shove, the one where Marina Mabrey launched Clark into the floor, right into the legs of the referee. The refs claimed it didn't rise to the level of an ejection. Seriously? A two-handed shove from behind, while the player's holding her face after getting clawed? What would it have taken? A torn ligament? A player leaving on a stretcher? Compare that to what happened to Sophie Cunningham, ejected for a retaliatory push that, by all accounts, was less aggressive. The contrast was impossible to ignore. One player stays, one gets tossed. For doing less. And then came the final insult, the technical foul on Caitlin Clark. According to the referees, Clark was penalized for unsportsmanlike conduct. Let that sink in. She got clawed in the eye, belly bumped, shoved to the floor, and while she's stumbling away, covering her face, she's the one called out for reacting. It was one of the most baffling calls of the season because it told every player watching, if you get hit and don't stay perfectly calm, you're the problem. That's not officiating, that's gaslighting. Fans were outraged. Analysts were stunned. Social media exploded with people saying the same thing. If this happened in the NBA, the refs would have been suspended. Imagine LeBron James, Steph Curry, or even Victor Wembanyama getting eye-clawed, shoved into the ref, and hit with a tech for it. It would be front-page news. There would be accountability. But here, just silence. Then a weak statement that contradicted the rulebook. So what happens now? Coach Stephanie White was right. This is a league-wide issue. It's not just about one night, one team, or one superstar rookie. It's about the entire foundation of the game. If officiating can't be trusted, how can players compete with confidence? How can fans invest in the outcome when the rules feel random? Missed calls don't just frustrate viewers. They change careers. They risk injuries. They tarnish reputations. And worst of all, they steal the spotlight from the athletes who actually deserve it. Caitlin Clark didn't ask for special treatment. She just asked for the same rules to apply to everyone. That shouldn't be too much to ask. So what now? What's next for the WNBA? The league has a choice to make. Either it steps up and fixes the officiating crisis, or it keeps pretending everything's fine while players get targeted, coaches get ignored, and fans tune out. But let's not stay silent. If you think it's time for change, hit that like button, share this video, and drop a comment with your take. Should the WNBA start reviewing and suspending refs who make these mistakes? Should players like Clark speak out more? We want to hear from you. Because in the end, this isn't just a game. This is a moment, a line in the sand. And if the league doesn't step across it with real change, well, we'll be watching.
I mean,
I didn't know.
you know, when you're in a Commissioner Cup situation and point spread matters,